Kieran had always dreamed of leaving Earth. The crowded cities, the endless rules, and the dull work had made him restless. He wanted more than routine. He wanted adventure, mystery, and the unknown stars. When the exploration program finally opened its gates to common citizens, he signed his name without hesitation. His ship was small, built for long journeys, but not for war. The walls hummed softly, and the only company he had was the voice of the navigation computer. After months of drifting between suns, he reached a sector not yet fully mapped. It was quiet, almost empty, except for one strange signal. The signal was faint but steady, a low hum that carried through space like a heartbeat. Curious, Kieran followed it. It led him to a world of silver skies and violet oceans. Crystal towers rose from the ground, gleaming in the light of two suns. The planet looked alive, as if the land itself wanted to welcome travelers. Kieran landed his ship on a flat plain near one of the towers. The moment his boots touched the ground, he felt a charge in the air. The soil glimmered faintly, and the wind whispered through the crystalline grass. It was like stepping into a dream. As he approached the tower, the doors opened on their own. Inside, the halls were polished and glowing, filled with murals of stars and figures he did not recognize. He moved carefully, alert to every sound. He expected silence, but then he heard footsteps. From the far end of the hall came a figure. She was tall, graceful, and carried herself with calm dignity. Her skin had a soft, natural glow, faintly tinted with silver. Her eyes were large, shimmering like liquid crystal, and her movements were as smooth as flowing water. She wore simple garments, plain yet elegant, and in her hands she carried a cleaning tool that looked strange but purposeful. Kieran stopped, unsure. Hello?" he said, his voice echoing in the hall. The woman tilted her head, studying him. Then, to his surprise, she spoke in clear words, though her accent was unusual. "You are a human?" He nodded slowly. "Yes, my name is Kieran. I didn't mean to intrude. I was following a signal." Her expression softened. "You are the first of your kind I have ever seen. I am Leora. I serve in this place. As caretaker." Kieran blinked. "Caretaker?" She raised the tool in her hands. "Some would call it Maid. I clean, I repair, I keep the halls alive. This tower has been empty for a long time, but my duty remains." Kieran could hardly believe it. "So, you're the one keeping this whole place running?" She nodded. "Yes, it is my purpose, and now, you are here." For a long moment, silence filled the hall. Then Kieran smiled faintly. "Well, I didn't expect to meet anyone here, least of all someone like you." Leora studied him with curious eyes. "Humans are different. Fragile in body but strong in spirit. I have read records of your kind, but I did not think I would meet one face to face." Kieran chuckled nervously. "Yeah, we tend to show up where people don't expect us." Leora tilted her head again, as though considering something important. Then she gestured for him to follow. "Come. If you have found this place, there is something you must see." He walked behind her through long corridors that shimmered with light. The walls seemed alive, pulsing faintly with energy. As they descended deeper, the air grew warmer, and the faint hum he had heard from space became louder. Finally, they entered a vast chamber. At its center rested a device half buried in the floor. It was round, its surface marked with patterns that glowed faintly. The energy inside pulsed like a living heart. Kieran felt his chest tighten. This is the signal I followed," Leora nodded. "Yes, this device is older than my service. I do not know its true name, only its purpose. It is a core of power. It must be protected." Kieran stared at it. "And you've been guarding it all this time?" "Yes," she said softly. "It is my duty, but now..." Its hum grows stronger. Something has awakened. Kieran crouched beside the device, running his fingers just above its glowing surface. He could feel warmth radiating from it, like sunlight captured in stone. If it's waking up, it could be dangerous. Leora's expression darkened. Not only dangerous. If others discover this signal, they will come. Not to protect, but to take. They will not care who is harmed. Kieran stood slowly. "Then we have to be ready." Her eyes widened slightly. "We?" He nodded. "I didn't come here looking for trouble. But I'm not going to walk away if you're in danger. You've been here alone, protecting this, whatever it is. Now you've got help." For the first time, Leora's calm mask broke. A small smile touched her lips. "You are strange, human. Most would run. You stay," Kieran shrugged. "Guess that's what makes us human." They returned to the upper halls. Leora guided him to a balcony overlooking the city. From there, the crystal towers glowed under the double suns, and the horizon stretched endlessly. It was beautiful, but Kieran could not ignore the faint unease in his chest. Somewhere out there, others might already be listening to the same signal that had led him here. Leora seemed to sense his thoughts. The galaxy is wide. Many eyes watch and many hands reach. But perhaps, together we can guard what must not be lost. Kieran looked at her, standing tall and proud despite her humble role. In her presence, he felt a strange mix of calm and purpose. He had left Earth to find adventure, but what he found here was something greater. The hum of the device echoed faintly, steady as a drumbeat. It was a warning, and also a promise. This was only the beginning. The morning light filtered through the tall crystalline windows of the alien manor, casting long, shimmering patterns on the polished floors. Kieran, the human explorer, sat quietly at the edge of a soft floating chair, watching the alien maid move gracefully through the room. Her name was Leora, and though she had served this household for years, she moved with a mixture of precision and quiet curiosity that seemed almost alive with thought. Yesterday had been a strange day. Kieran had accidentally triggered a security drone while trying to examine the manor's energy conduits. Leora had intervened at the last moment, guiding him away from the automated defenses, her long, delicate fingers pressing buttons with exact timing. The drone had paused, then retreated. For a moment, Kieran had been struck by the alien intelligence and subtle bravery she had shown. Now, as he sipped a strange amber drink she had brought him, he realized that this mission, originally meant to be a simple survey of the planet's resources, was becoming something entirely different. He wasn't just exploring the alien world, he was beginning to understand it through Leora. Leora approached him again, her soft, pale skin almost glowing in the ambient light. "Human," she said, her voice calm but filled with curiosity. "You are persistent. Most outsiders leave after observing a few rooms." Kieran smiled, unsure if she meant it as a compliment. "I like learning," he replied simply. "And your world? It's incredible. There's so much I don't understand." Her large, almond-shaped eyes studied him. Kieran noticed how observant she was. Every gesture, every tone of his voice seemed to be analyzed. "You have courage," she said finally. "Not like most humans. Your species is unpredictable." That surprised him. "Unpredictable? You mean dangerous?" Leora tilted her head, her silver hair brushing against the floor. "Perhaps. But unpredictable can be interesting. You see patterns, but you also act in ways I cannot calculate." Kieran leaned forward, intrigued. "I guess that's true. Sometimes thinking too much doesn't help in dangerous situations." He remembered yesterday's close call with the drone. If he hadn't trusted Leora's guidance, he might have been badly hurt, or worse. For a while they sat in silence, listening to the soft hum of the manor's energy system. Then Leora spoke again, her tone quieter. "There is a place few outsiders have seen. A garden beneath the central tower. It is ancient. It holds knowledge, not only of plants, but of this planet's history. Few are allowed to enter." Kieran's curiosity sparked. "A garden that holds history? That sounds amazing. Will you show me?" Her eyes flickered with hesitation. "Perhaps. But you must understand. Humans are not always welcome. Curiosity can bring danger." Kieran nodded, trying to appear calm. "I understand. But I promise I won't cause harm." For a moment, Leora seemed to consider him. Then, without a word, she turned and began to walk toward a spiral staircase at the edge of the room. Kieran followed, careful not to rush her. The staircase twisted upward and downward, a blend of transparent materials and polished metal that seemed to float in midair. As they descended, Kieran noticed the walls glowing with embedded crystals, each one displaying moving images, scenes from the planet's past, cities rising and falling, alien creatures flying across strange skies, and technology evolving in ways he had never imagined. The history felt alive, as if the walls themselves remembered. "This is incredible," he murmured. "Your people have preserved so much knowledge." Leora's steps were silent. "Preservation is survival," she said simply. "Knowledge is power, but it is also responsibility. Many outsiders take without understanding. Humans may be different," Kieran frowned. "Different how?" She paused, turning to face him. "You ask questions. You observe without destroying. You adapt. Most species that come here They cannot resist taking what they want. Her words struck him. He thought of his own species' history, the mistakes, the conquests, the wars fought over resources. Yet here he was, a single human, being judged by an alien for his intentions. It humbled him. Finally, they arrived at a massive arched doorway. Leora reached for a con. The sun of the alien world had begun to sink behind jagged violet mountains, casting long shadows across the crystalline city. Kieran walked beside Leora along one of the elevated walkways connecting the manor to the outer gardens. Their footsteps made no sound, but their minds were alert. The holographic map from the device they had uncovered earlier revealed something troubling. Unknown ships approaching from the neighboring star system. "They are not friendly," Leora said quietly. Her almond-shaped eyes glimmered in the fading light. "Sensors detect high-energy signatures. Likely military or explorers looking for resources." Kieran frowned, tracing the glowing lines on the holographic map. "Do you think they know about this planet? About the manor?" Leora shook her head. "They are opportunists. They search blindly, hoping to find valuable technology. If they discover this place, it could be destroyed." Kieran's mind raced. He had come to this world expecting simple exploration. Now he faced a potential invasion, and he had to act fast. "What can we do?" he asked. Leora glanced at him, her expression unreadable. "We must prepare. This is not just about defense. We must hide the manor's energy and the garden's secrets. The outsiders cannot be allowed to find it." The next hour was a blur of activity. Kieran followed Leora as she moved through hidden corridors, pressing panels that shifted walls and sealed entrances. "These corridors were built for emergencies," she explained. "Few know they exist, humans. You would find them remarkable." Kieran smiled faintly. "I guess I've proven that humans can adapt quickly." Leora allowed a small nod of approval before leading him to the heart of the manor, where the ancient energy cores hummed with power. "We must redirect the energy," she said. "Make it appear dormant to any scanners. If they believe this manor is lifeless, they will move on." Kieran knelt beside the control panel, studying its alien symbols. "I think I understand. But I'll need you to guide me." Leora placed her hand gently on the interface. "Focus, human. You are not merely touching buttons. You are directing the flow of energy. One mistake could trigger alarms." For the next several minutes, Kieran worked alongside Leora. He learned to anticipate the hums and pulses of the alien system, matching his actions to her guidance. Slowly, the energy readings on the holographic display stabilized, showing a dormant manor. Kieran's confidence grew with each correct adjustment. "There," Leora said finally. "It is done. They will sense nothing unusual, at least for now." Kieran exhaled, feeling the tension leave his shoulders. "I didn't think I'd ever work with alien tech like this, but I guess humans can rise to the challenge." Leora looked at him thoughtfully. "Yes, your species has a unique combination of intuition and adaptability. Most beings here rely only on logic. You surprise them." Before Kieran could respond, a low alarm vibrated through the manor. Red lights flashed briefly, and the holographic map indicated movement. Small reconnaissance ships had already entered the planet's orbit. "They are scouting," Leora said, her voice calm but firm. "We have little time." Kieran glanced at her. "What's the plan?" "We must guide them away," she replied. "There is a canyon east of the city. I can create a decoy signal there, draw their attention. But we must be careful. They are fast learners." Together, they hurried to the decoy control station, a small hidden chamber with panels resembling the natural crystals outside. Leora activated the system, projecting false energy signatures into the canyon. Kieran monitored the holographic map, adjusting the signal as Leora instructed. The alien ships moved in response, drawn toward the canyon as planned. Kieran's pulse quickened. "It's working." "They're taking the bait," Leora nodded. "Yes, but only temporarily. Their sensors are advanced. We must keep them occupied long enough for the manor and the garden to remain hidden." Hours passed as Kieran and Leora worked tirelessly. The decoy drew the ships deeper into the canyon, away from the city and the underground garden. Kieran marveled at Leora's skill. Her movements were precise, her focus unwavering. And yet, there was a calmness about her that made him trust her completely. Finally, the last ship vanished into the canyon, fooled by the decoy. Kieran leaned back, exhaustion weighing on him. "We did it," he said, a mix of relief and disbelief in his voice. Leora's gaze softened. Yes, but this is only the beginning. There are many who seek the secrets of this world. You must be ready, human. There will be more challenges. Kieran looked at her, admiration in his eyes. I'm ready. I've learned a lot already, and I want to keep learning. With you guiding me, I think I can handle anything. For a moment, silence fell over them. The humming of the manor's hidden systems was the only sound. Kieran realized that he felt a bond with Leora, stronger than friendship, built on trust, courage, and shared purpose. Suddenly, a new blip appeared on the holographic map. A massive object, unlike the smaller scout ships, was approaching from the neighboring system. Its energy signature was immense, far beyond anything they had seen. This is different, Kieran said, staring at the display. It's huge. Leora's expression darkened. A warship. It is not here for scouting. It is here for conquest, and it will not leave until it finds what it seeks. Kieran swallowed hard, but he did not step back. Then we have to stop it, or at least protect the manor and the garden. Leora nodded, placing a hand on his shoulder. I will stand with you, human. Together we will face this threat. Your species, you may surprise even yourselves. Kieran's heart swelled with determination. He had come to this world expecting simple exploration, but he had found purpose, courage, and a bond with an alien unlike any he had imagined. Now the real test awaited. The arrival of the warship would challenge everything they had learned, and everything they had become together. As the night deepened, the stars above glimmered like distant, watchful eyes. Kieran and Leora prepared for the coming storm, knowing that the survival of the manor, the garden, and perhaps even the future of this planet rested in their hands. For the first time, Kieran felt fully alive, not as an outsider, not as a visitor, but as a human capable of making a difference in a galaxy far beyond his own. And beside him, Leora moved with quiet confidence, the alien maid who had become his guide, his ally, and his friend. The distant hum of the approaching warship grew louder. Shadows stretched across the crystalline city, and the air itself seemed to vibrate with impending danger. Kieran clenched his fists, ready to face whatever came next, because now he was not just a human explorer. He was a protector, a strategist, and a partner in an alliance that spanned species and worlds. And together, they would show that courage, trust, and intelligence, qualities of humanity, could overcome even the greatest threats. The city of crystal towers sparkled under the soft glow of 3 moons. For most people, it was a night of calm, but for Kieran and Leora, unease filled the air. The strange device they had found in the manor's basement was no ordinary artifact. It hummed faintly, like a hidden heartbeat, and Kieran couldn't stop thinking about it. Leora guided him into a chamber filled with translucent shelves that held ancient records. The shelves pulsed softly as if alive. She touched one of the glowing panels, and hundreds of images appeared in the air. Maps, diagrams, and histories of her people. This is where we may find answers, she said quietly. Her elegant fingers moved over the controls until the image of a warship filled the room. Kieran stepped closer. The ship was unlike anything he had seen before. Its hull shimmered like liquid metal, and the outline suggested weapons of immense power. That looks dangerous, he whispered. Leora nodded slowly. It is. These were not ships of peace. They were machines of destruction. Long ago, my people created them to guard against enemies from the stars, but many were lost, or hidden. She turned her gaze to him, her voice lowering. The device we found, it may be part of one of these ships. Kieran's stomach tightened. So we might have stumbled on a piece of a war machine? Yes, she answered, her tone firm. And if others discover this, they will come for it. There are those beyond this city, outlaws, scavengers, who would kill to control such power. The weight of her words sank deep into Kieran's chest. He thought of Earth, of his own people who often fought over weapons. If such a thing fell into the wrong hands, no one would be safe. Suddenly, a faint tremor shook the manor floor. Kieran and Leora exchanged a sharp glance. What was that? Kieran asked. Leora's eyes narrowed. Not natural. Come. They ran through the halls, the shimmering light of the crystals guiding their way. When they reached the outer balcony, Kieran froze. In the distance, lights moved across the sky, cold mechanical lights. A formation of drones flew silently toward the city, their bodies dark against the moons. Scavengers, Leora whispered, her voice tight. They must have tracked the energy pulse from the device. They know it is here. Kieran clenched his fists. Then they're after us. No, Leora corrected firmly. They are after the device. But we stand in their way. The drones descended quickly, splitting into groups. Some moved toward the city's towers, while 3 broke away, heading straight for the manor. A faint buzzing filled the air as they closed in. Inside, Leora ordered. They rushed back into the hall, sealing the balcony doors behind them. The hum of the device below grew louder as if it sensed danger. Kieran's heart raced. What do we do? We can't fight war drones with bare hands. Leora's eyes flicked. The sky above the crystalline city darkened as the massive alien warship descended from orbit. Its hull gleamed like black metal, and faint pulses of energy radiated outward, signaling the power it carried. Kieran stood beside Leora on a high observation platform, the holographic map hovering between them. The human could feel the sheer scale of the threat pressing against the tranquility of the planet. This is bigger than anything I expected, Kieran said, his voice calm despite the adrenaline pumping through him. We need a plan. And fast. Leora's eyes narrowed, scanning the holographic display. Yes, if it reaches the city, it will detect the manor and the garden. That cannot happen. We must lure it away or conceal everything before it lands. Kieran studied the map, thinking quickly. Yesterday we used the canyon as a decoy. We can do that again, but it won't work the same way. This ship is smarter and faster. We need something new, something unexpected. Leora nodded slowly. Humans, your creativity is unlike any species I have seen. Perhaps you can surprise it. Kieran's mind raced. He remembered the energy device in the garden and the way it projected holographic signals. We can create multiple decoy signals, he suggested. Make the ship believe there are several targets. Energy cores, hidden facilities, maybe even artificial life forms. Leora's expression shifted, a hint of admiration in her gaze. It is risky, but it may work. Few beings can coordinate such an effort under pressure. You, human, may be extraordinary. Together they rushed to the hidden control room beneath the manor. Kieran worked alongside Leora, following her precise instructions to activate multiple holographic decoys across the canyon, the surrounding plains, and even near the energy cores. Each decoy pulsed with a faint but convincing energy signature. There, Leora said finally, stepping back. They will see these signatures as real, but you must control their timing. Any mismatch and the warship will detect deception. Kieran nodded, his hand steady as he manipulated the controls. We can do this. We just need to stay calm. Outside, the warship began scanning the planet. Pulses of light swept across the landscape, seeking signs of energy. Kieran's heart raced, but he focused, adjusting the decoy signals in response. Slowly, the warship moved toward the canyon, drawn to the strongest pulse. It's working, Kieran exclaimed, relief mingling with excitement. Leora's voice was calm, but there was tension beneath it. Yes, but it will soon realize there is more than one signal. Be ready to adapt. Suddenly, a secondary wave of scanning beams illuminated a nearby plateau. The warship had detected multiple signatures and was splitting its attention. Kieran's mind raced for a solution. We need to create interference, something that makes it doubt what it sees. Leora looked at him, her expression a mixture of surprise and curiosity. You propose deception beyond the decoys? Kieran nodded. Yes. If we can send false energy pulses in multiple directions simultaneously, it might hesitate, giving us time to protect the manor and garden. Leora considered his plan. It is dangerous, but I trust your instincts very well. Let us try it. They worked quickly, activating the interference system while simultaneously controlling the decoys. Energy pulses shot in unpredictable patterns across the canyon and surrounding areas, confusing the warship's sensors. The massive ship hesitated, its movement slowing as it tried to reconcile conflicting signals. Kieran felt a surge of hope. It's working. It's hesitating. Leora's eyes gleamed. Yes, your human creativity. It saves us. The warship adjusted, attempting to focus on the strongest signal. Kieran and Leora reacted instantly, shifting energy flows and holographic projections. The massive vessel wavered in its descent, unsure which signature to follow. Then a new problem emerged. Smaller assault drones launched from the warship, heading straight for the city. Kieran's heart pounded. We need to stop them before they reach the city. Leora's expression was calm but firm. We can use the energy redirection system. If we overload the nearby power conduits, we can create a magnetic field strong enough to push them away. But it must be precise. Too strong. and it will damage the city. Kieran's hands moved over the controls with careful precision. I can do this. Just guide me. Together, they manipulated the manor's energy, redirecting flows to generate a magnetic barrier just ahead of the drones. The drones collided with the invisible field and were sent spiraling into the canyon, far from the city. Kieran exhaled, adrenaline giving way to relief. You did well, Leora said, her tone softening. Few could manage that under pressure. Kieran smiled faintly. We did it together. The warship, frustrated by the decoys and interference, began to withdraw temporarily, scanning for the real source of energy. Kieran realized this was their chance. If we can hide the garden's core energy completely, it might leave entirely. Leora guided him to a deeper chamber, where the garden's central energy core pulsed softly. Kieran worked with her to cloak its signature, redirecting it through hidden channels beneath the manor. Slowly, the energy readings on the warship's sensors faded. It is done, Leora said, her voice calm but filled with relief. The core is hidden. It cannot be detected. Kieran watched as the warship hesitated, scanning the planet once more. Then finally it ascended, retreating toward orbit and eventually disappearing into the blackness of space. Kieran's shoulders slumped with exhaustion, but a sense of triumph filled him. We did it. The city, the garden, everything is safe for now. Leora placed a hand on his arm. Yes, but remember, human, this world is full of dangers. Many seek what we have protected today. You have proven your worth, but the challenges will continue. Kieran nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. I know, and I want to be ready. With you guiding me, I think we can handle anything that comes. For the first time, Kieran felt a sense of belonging on this alien world. He was no longer merely an explorer or outsider. He was a protector, a strategist, and a trusted ally. And Leora, once merely a maid, had become a true friend and partner. As they stood together in the observation chamber, the city below them glowing softly in the night, Kieran realized that humans were capable of more than survival. They could inspire trust, overcome impossible odds, and build bonds that spanned species. Leora looked at him, her large eyes reflecting the city lights. You have changed how I see humans, Kieran. Your courage, your creativity, it is remarkable. Kieran smiled, feeling a warmth he had not expected. And you have changed how I see this world, Leora. I came here to explore, but I found purpose. I found friendship. I found something worth protecting. The stars above shimmered as if acknowledging his words. The warship was gone, but Kieran knew that the galaxy held many threats. Yet he no longer feared them. He had learned that courage, intelligence, and trust could overcome even the most formidable challenges. And beside him, Leora moved with quiet grace. Her presence a reminder that friendship and loyalty could exist even in the most alien of worlds. Together they would face whatever came next, confident that humans, unexpected, adaptable, and courageous, could always make a difference. The night deepened, and the city glimmered beneath them. Kieran felt a surge of determination. The adventure was far from over, but he knew one thing clearly. He was ready, because humans were not just explorers. Humans were problem solvers, friends, and protectors. And in this alien world, that truth had just saved a civilization. The first light of dawn touched the crystalline city, scattering rainbows across the towers and reflecting softly on the glass-like streets. Kieran stood at the edge of the manor's observation platform, looking down at the city he had helped protect. The events of the past few days felt almost surreal. A warship, hostile drones, hidden energy cores, and yet somehow they had prevailed. Leora appeared beside him silently, as if she had always been there. Her calm presence was comforting, a steady anchor in a world that had proven both wondrous and dangerous. She studied the horizon, her almond-shaped eyes reflecting the golden light. The night is over, she said softly. For now, the city is safe. Your efforts, they have changed much. Kieran turned to her, a faint smile on his face. We did it together, Leora. I could not have done any of it alone. Her lips curved slightly into a rare smile. Few outsiders could have done what you did, human. Your courage, your quick thinking, you have proven the worth of your species. Kieran looked down at his hands, thinking of the challenges they had faced. Deciphering alien technology, coordinating decoys, manipulating energy flows, and confronting dangers that could have ended their lives in seconds. I never imagined I could be this useful. I came here expecting to explore, but instead I found purpose. Leora placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Purpose is not found by chance. It is built by choices, by actions, and by trust. You have made the right choices. You have acted with integrity. Kieran's eyes met hers, and for a moment words were unnecessary. The bond they had formed went beyond species, beyond language, beyond simple friendship. It was built on trust, shared trials, and mutual respect. A connection that neither of them had anticipated, yet now felt inseparable. A soft alarm chimed in the distance, breaking the quiet. Kieran glanced at the holographic map. It showed several unidentified signals approaching from far reaches of the planet. They were small and non-hostile, but their presence reminded him that Taxi was vast and unpredictable.